Right here is our speaker to my left, so let's go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we'll start with the roll call. Carol, are you all ready to go? Thank you.
John McGovern.
Here.
Dan Gibson.
Here.
Deborah Perkins. Here. Carol Hart. Dave Brown. Here. David Hyman. Present. Nancy Zander. Here. Gary Fordyce. Here. Kunal Gohel.
Here.
Mike Khalid. Here. Armando Diaz. Here. Carlos Maya.
Absent.
Thank you.
Okay, quorum is met. Okay, we're going to move into our general public comments, and I believe we have on that, which is agenda number 2, Bill Kuzmin is going to speak real quick. Or William Kuzmin, that's okay.
Hi, everybody. My name is William Kuzmin. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Stakeholders Empowerment Enlightenment Coalition. Just want to announce that we are having our next meeting on Monday, October 27th at 6 p.m. It will be located in the Mid-Valley Regional Library right here in North Hills at 16244 Nordoff Street. The keynote speaker that night will be Mr. Jay Handel. And we just want you to know this is a free event. It is open to everyone, the public, the neighborhood council board members, the city council, anybody who wants to come is welcome. We do have limited seating, so just want you to be aware of that. Thank you so much. And it looks like I don't have to get the computer after all.
No problem then, thank you.
Our next speaker under the general public section, comment section of our agenda is Gary Faragian with the organization Solid.
Hello, thank you. Yes, Gary Faragian, I'm a member of Solid. Solid stands for Supporters of Law Enforcement in Devonshire. We support the Devonshire Police Station and the officers who take care of this area. What we do in general, really quick, we raise funds for helping maintain the station. We just rebuilt the roll call room. We did the break room. We're working on the slow trailer right now and are moving on to the gang trailer. So we're looking for funds for that. One of our things we're doing tomorrow evening is our pasta dinner. It is at the Greek Church. You should all have a flyer on the table. $9, all you can eat. So come and eat a lot of pasta. It's a great thing, and we'd love for you to become a booster member of Solid and help us support the police officers that take care of our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Next we have Ray Burgess with Southern California Gas.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President. My name is Ray Burgess. I'm with the Southern California Gas's Advanced Meter Team. A couple of years ago, we came before this body and we made a presentation telling you about Advanced Meter. Basically, what that is that we are going to automate the way we read your gas usage. Currently, you have meter readers. You've had them for 127 years. By the time this program is complete, which is about 2 years away, most of those meter readers will go away. We'll still have a few, but the majority of that 1,100 meter readers, which we now have on employed, will go away. 3 reasons basically for this program: technology, Second of all, environmental issues by taking those gas meters, those meter readers off of the street. You also take about 1,100 trucks off the road every day, and that equates to about 150,000 tons of CO2, which we eliminate by not having those trucks on the road. The third is purely conservation. What we want to do is we want you to read your gas usage on a regular basis and maybe save a little gas. That'll help everybody in terms of conservation. Within the next 30 days, well, let me go back. The program was 2 phases. First phase was our communications network. The second phase was our meter upgrades. The communications network is about 90% complete. So now we're moved into the second phase, which is the upgrades, and we're coming into the Northridge area very soon. So within the next 30 days, you'll be receiving a letter. That letter will say we're coming. Our crews will come out. They're all gas company employees, no third parties. We've done that through a negotiation with LAPD, saying that they have a lot of issues with people pretending that they're utility workers, want to get in your house, want to see stuff, and they take things that don't belong to them. In our case, as I said, they're uniformed, they have their badges, blue and white trucks, they even bring their own porta potties, so there's no reason for them to come into your house. If there's an issue, if you have an issue, unless it's an emergency, they will help you by simply calling our customer service line and setting up a scheduled service call for you. They're not there to really service you in terms of your gas service. They're there strictly to retrofit your meters. It'll only take about 10 or 15 minutes. They'll move on to the next house or apartment or business or whatever. They will leave a door hanger that will say we've been there. And at some time next year, you will get a final letter from us saying that the network is complete, your meters have been upgraded, and we've gone automated. And so that will then allow you to read your meters go online. We'll even have an app by then that you can use with your handhelds, and you'll be able to read your gas usage on a regular basis. One last thing. The letter will tell you if you have a special issue. For example, if you have to put a pet away to have your meter in, or if you have a locked gate, maybe sometimes in some of the older units we found in the downtown area, they're inside a building, and so they have to unlock that. You need to call. There's a number on the letter that you need to call to make a special arrangement, because if not, they're just moving right along. They'll go right by you, and then it'll take some time for them to come back. So if you have an issue, or if you have something special you need to let them know about, just give them a call. They'll be glad to set up a separate notification on their list, so that they know when they come out how to handle that. I know I'm short of time, so
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ray, for that information. Next up, we have Ernie Hilker.
Good evening, board members. Public comment. North Hills West Neighborhood Council boundary change. Under the authority granted to stakeholders in Article 13 amendments, Item B of the North Hills West Neighborhood Council bylaws approved January 26, 2014, and defined process requirements, items C, D, and E in Article 13 inclusive. Any stakeholder may propose an amendment to these bylaws during the public comment. I hereby request, on behalf of the 500-plus petitioners and the stakeholders in the Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council area, to change the name of this area from North Hills to Granada Hills for the area bounded by Devonshire Street on the north, Lassen Street on the south, 405 Freeway on the east, and Balboa Boulevard on the west. The following request is made of the North Hills West Neighborhood Council Board. An agenda item be established and agendized for the next board meeting of the North Hills West Neighborhood Council in accordance with the stakeholders' rights under Article 13. Actions required by the North Hills West Neighborhood Council Board. Change the North Hills West Neighborhood Council delineated boundaries in North Hills West Neighborhood Council bylaws approved January 26, 2014 to reflect the name change of the area bounded by Devonshire Street on the north, Lassen Street on the south, 405 Freeway on the east, and Balboa Boulevard on the west to Granada Hills, to comport to the actions taken by the City Council under City Council File Number 130460, adopted by the City Council October 16, 2014. Item 2 for your action, comport to the defined process requirements under Article 13, Amendments, Items C, D, and E. File references by unanimous vote by the City Council of the Los Angeles area of North Alaska. The City Council did approve this on October 29 in final action unanimously. This area will now be known as Granada Hills. The stakeholder residents of this area will become members of the Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council. The Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council has already approved their boundary changes, and the acceptance of the residents in the area bounded by Devonshire Street on the north, Lassett Street on the south, 405 Freeway on the east, and Balboa Boulevard on the west, to be stakeholders and part of their community by action of their board and a duly scheduled Brown Act. Everything is official. So what's going to happen now, I like this, I have copies for each board member to be included verbatim as part of the minutes for this evening. And then one of my fellow cohorts here will give you details on it.
Give us the paperwork, please, and we'll review
Yes,
this.
I'm still talking.
You had your 2 minutes, sir. You actually had 3. Thank you. Let's move on to the next one, please.
Thank you for comments, Ernie. Next, we'll hear from Anita Gopal.
You had number 2. Okay, thank you. Yeah, got it.
Hello, everyone. I have some questions. The first one is about the inventory list that is usually kept by the secretary concerning equipment and supplies, like the computers, the printers, the time clock, the speakers, voice recorders, office supplies, outreach advertising items, and other items that were on the inventory list turned over to this board on September the 19th, 2013, and the additional items purchased since then. Who maintains this list, and who has the items that are the property of the neighborhood council purchased with our tax dollars? My other thing that I'd like to comment about, in looking at the items on the agenda and previous agendas, except for the outreach committee chair, there have been no reports from the land use committee, beautification and infrastructure, budget and finance, rules and elections, and other standing committees. What have they been doing since April? There have been no plans, no goals, no reports presented by the committee chairs at any general board meetings. And why are there no board comments on the agenda? Board members are supposed to be engaged in and aware of the happenings of this neighborhood council. They may have concerns that would like to be discussed by the board. Where are your voices? And also, why don't board members have paper and pencils and a notepad to take personal notes about what's happening at your meeting? And finally, why wasn't there notification for the open seat on the board per the bylaws, Section 11, Community Outreach? There was no written or verbal announcement that applications were being taken. The resignation was accepted at the August 21, 2014 meeting. Nowhere was there a posting that stakeholders could apply for the vacant seat. Where are the application forms? We as stakeholders have a lawful right to know how this application process was initiated and publicized.
Thank you. Can I have your list of questions? Yeah, so I can take them in writing there. This way I won't miss anything on your paperwork.
Thank you, Anita. Next, we will hear from Mary Armenteros. Okay, next up is Sam Quasman.
Good evening. Nice to be here tonight. We'd like to invite you to the Granada Hills South Neighborhood Watch Block Party. We have free hot dogs, free soda, free chips, free water. We have Sears coming out for arts and craft. We have Child ID. We have the LAPD and the Los Angeles Fire Department. Love to have you come out and join us this Saturday, October 18th. Also, number 2, we have some documents here that I'd like to submit to you for the name change for Granada Hills. We are officially Granada Hills. We had a unanimous decision over almost a year ago in October of 2013 by the City Council. We're respectfully asking you to please change your bylaws so that we can move over to the Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council. The reason is such institutions as the Board of Realtors, the DMV, and certain institutions are difficult to recognize us as Granada Hills, which we are officially. We have been in the Granada Hills Millwood plan since 1953. So what I'd like to do is distribute these documents. We do have a unanimous vote from North Hills West Council when we originally did this, the Granada Hills Council when we originally did this. We have a unanimous decision by the City Council in downtown Los Angeles. Mitch Englander said it was a done deal, and we're just, we're your neighbors. What happens to you, what happens to us. So we really feel that we have a camaraderie here. We'd just like to move we are Granada Hills. When I bought my home, it was Granada Hills. It's on my trust deed. We deserve to be in the Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council so that we can move on with our work, our stuff, and we can recognize this Granada Hills. That's all I have to say. I'll give you my documentation.
Thank you.
Oh, I'd like these minutes to be verbatim. Make it part of the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Next we have Lauren Borstein.
Hi, I'm Lauren Borstein, Borstein Enterprises. We're currently in escrow, soon to be the owners of the property at Chase and Woodley, formerly owned by Anheuser-Busch and now their foundation. Just wanted to give everybody an update that we submitted our application back in March. We subsequently have made a couple changes to the application whereby it's the same site plan, but we're able to accomplish the same layout, same everything, but rather than having detached condos, right now it'll be fee simple ownership, so everybody will own their own land, so they'll be single family homes. So I think there were some questions before about detached condos versus attached or whatever. At the end of the day, it's the same exact plan you saw before, but now everybody has fee simple ownership. It should improve property values for that. We've also finished all the architecture, floor plans. We'd like to be on the agenda for the next meeting if possible so we can show everybody the progress and the streetscapes that we've done. We've got a bunch of renderings. I'm happy to show people after the meeting as well. But just wanted to give everybody an update on the project, and I've got business cards if people have additional questions as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Lauren. Next is Gary Fordyce.
The following 6 items are a request for standing rules. 1. Vacancies on the board will be announced at a general board meeting, sent by email blast, advertised, and by any additional means communicated to the community 30 days before the matter shall be placed on the agenda and the board vote is scheduled. 2. All pages of MERs will be included in the board packet. 3. Monthly updates of the fiscal budget versus actual with net amounts remaining per category will be included in the board packet. 4. MER funding voting records will be attached to all respective NHWNC General Board and special board meeting minutes to promote full transparency. 5. Board comments will be agendized on all NHWNC agendas to promote board participation. 6. Anytime a candidate for public office is invited to speak before the NHWNC, all opposing candidates shall also be invited to speak. The following 2 items are a request to the board. I am formally requesting my name be put back on the email list for all general board mailings. 2. In addition, my full name has been misspelled at least 6 times. Please ensure my name is consistently spelled correctly. For the record, that spelling is Gary, Garry, Fordyce, Fordy, C as in Charlie, E. I am submitting this to the board secretary as part of the October 16 general board meeting minutes as well. Additionally, I am attaching evidence of John's email not copying me and the October 16 agenda misspelling my name. Also, please find attached copies of the best practices from another neighborhood council, specifically an MER and an excellent example relating to the third standing rule proposal. Thank you. And I will be giving each of the copies.
Thank you, Gary. Our last speaker tonight under the general public comments section of our agenda will be Marion Armenteros.
Hi, I'm Mary. I just wanted to bring up, I don't notice on the agenda where there's going to be any discussion regarding the Neighborhood Congress. There's no outreach category or anything, so I just wanted to bring it up. And I do want to commend the board because I noticed I was there and several of the board members were there. I think it was excellent. Raise your hand if you thought it was excellent. I thought it was excellent, and I'm glad to see that quite a few board members did go. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up was the leadership seminar put on by Jill Barad with Bank. Two of the most crucial things she said for neighborhood councils is, number one, having an executive committee. An executive committee reviews the agenda information for the upcoming general board meeting and discusses and straightens out little procedural things to make the neighborhood council function in a better way. I have looked at agendas. There are numerous, I would say the majority of neighborhood councils have an executive committee. We have an executive board. They are the president, vice president. An executive committee is a committee that has to be formed by the board. Per your bylaws, you can form any committee you want. I strongly suggest that that is done. It gives all the board members input into what's going on in your council. The other thing she brought up that was extremely important was board retreats. I know board retreats have been talked about. During the time I was on the board, I was pushing for a retreat. We came up to we had a budget and so on and so forth. I believe that there has been an allocation of $500, either before or after the new year. I think you'll need more than that, but according to Jill Barad, these are two crucially important things for neighborhood councils to function, and I would strongly request and suggest that the board.
Thank you for your comments, Mary.
Okay, we're going to move into our public speaker comment. Number 3 is they're 10 minutes of time, and we do have under A, Congressman Tony Cardenas' office. Brian Gavidia, is he in tonight? I did not see him come in. Okay, move on to B. Ron Rabin left the office for Councilman Englander's office. He had a family emergency, so he's out. Melvin Cañas is not in tonight for the Dunn rep. I did have Terry Gomes was in for the C4C group. Is he still in the house? Okay, we'll move on to him next then. That's not a problem. Let's see here. Anyway, from Bonk, we have Lydia Grant. Is she in tonight? Okay, no problem. Thank you, Anita. And let's see here then. Somebody banged on the door. No, actually, he can come out and say what he wants to later. Okay, we'll just move in real quick over to 4 for the officers' parts. Obviously, everybody knows that November 4th is our election day, so I'm just going to try to get people out there to vote. It's important. Most of you that live in North Hills West have got the general elections in your information package in the mail. So if you don't know what's going on, please read it. It's important that you just get out and vote. Next thing is Halloween this year is on a Friday night or Friday, which means there'll be a lot of kids out because they're off on Saturday. So please watch your neighborhoods, and obviously for those younger people that are driving around, please slow down.
John,
John, David over here.
David.
Getting back to the election thing that you mentioned, voter registration closes on Monday, so they could mail in a voter registration postcard, or they could go online and do it online, and then as long as you meet the Monday deadline where it's received by Monday, whether by mail or online, you'll be able to vote and participate in the November 4th election.
If anybody needs any info on that registration for the last day being the 20th here, I have it in this booklet, so you're welcome to come up and take some information out of it and write it down.
John? John?
Go ahead.
Thank you, David. You informed me exactly what I was going to read directly from their registration card. What I'd like to add is I have registration cards for anyone who needs one tonight. I have them with me. Just ask me, and you'll have them in time for, as long as you have them mailed or delivered by Tuesday, you're good to go.
No, they have to be received by Monday.
That's not what it reads. I've got the cards right here. It says mailed
Somebody
or delivered.
take a second and take this form out, just read it real quick, make sure we got it correct. If they have to be on Monday, you won't be voting, so we'll just double check that real quick.
You can read it right off
We
the
can also
application.
read it out of the book there, yeah. Okay, let's see, there was a, jump in, Dan, do you have anything?
Yes, two things, John. You mentioned Halloween being a Friday night. There is a harvest festival hosted by Valley Park Church on the 25th. That's for the young kids. The flyers are on the table. Are there any other community-wide functions that someone may know about regarding Halloween that we can announce? This is the only one that I was able to confirm.
I would like to offer, I'm sorry. I would just like to say if there are other events, please let me, Carol Hart, the secretary, know, and I'd be more than happy to blast all of these things out when you give them to me. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
This is not exactly in North Hills, but we would be happy to have you at the Van Nuys Sherman Oaks Rec Center on Halloween. We're hosting a Halloween festival party for all children, for toddlers, all the way on in age up, and games for age appropriate, and candy and fun, and we're going to be showing a free movie. That's Van Nuys at Sherman Oaks Rec Center on Huston Street in Sherman Oaks. Then you're all welcome if you have nowhere to bring your grandkids or your kids or whoever. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that information. Anything else regarding community-wide Halloween events? If something comes up, just notify us and we'll disseminate that information. The second thing is the weeds growing on Roscoe just west of Havenhurst. I know that Mary has mentioned that area. I think we've had a breakthrough on responsibility for that area, and we'll see some activity soon. No hard date, but I've been assured verbally that that will be taken care of, so keep your eyes out. It's a very difficult area, very dangerous area to clean up due to the traffic. You can see the debris from the car wrecks all over the place, so it's difficult to take care of that ourselves, but we have found responsibility and we hope to see activity soon. No, it was not. Yes, yes, it was. That is a route that I took to eventually get to where we need to be. It's not the airport, but that's how we arrived at that. I feel good about our information. Like I said, I don't have a date, but I have verbal commitments. Thank you.
Okay. Did Terry come back? Terry Gomes? Yes. Are you out?
I'm right here.
Over there? Terry, no, it's not in tonight, and obviously a lot of the others. Did you have anything you wanted to say for this?
Yes. Good evening, board. Good evening, stakeholders. My name is Terrence Gomes. I'm actually one of the embedded members from the C4C mentoring program with Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. Melvin couldn't be here tonight, so he asked me to step in to be here for you. Couple things. One, I just received a text message from the general manager, and it has to do in regards to the MERS that are not available here tonight. Madam Treasurer, you were at the training last night, correct? And at that training, you were advised that all meetings must have the MERS report here, so that the whole board can see it, but not that, but the stakeholders also need to be able to see that report. And since that report's not here, she has asked, the general manager is asking that the board table that until next month to vote on it. Because the MERS report must be here every month, so that everybody may see it. And then the other thing was number 5A, that they have motion to accept an application, but then it shows that that's the actual motion, but you're saying also you're voting on them tonight?
Yes, we can. He is here. He's here.
Okay, but the motion says just to accept an application.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad to see so many people here. Some meetings I go to, there's like 5 people on the board only, so I'm great to see everybody out here. That's great participation in your community. You all care. That's great. Thank you.
We told them you were coming in tonight.
Oh.
Terrence Gomes. Gomes, G-O-M-E-S. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it on your report. That's fine. Terrence Gomes.
So who did you speak with? Gracie?
Gracie.
All right, but my understanding, I'm not sure what you exactly asked her, and I spoke with her after that meeting, so I'll speak with her again, but we had asked about doing the reports that we did with the ongoing numbers because people weren't understanding them, and apparently before we had training on doing a correct MERS report, I showed them what I was going to do, and it was okay at that time. So I'll talk with her again regarding that. I didn't have enough copies, and the person that asked me about one, she got a copy of the MERS report, but the information that was provided this evening has exactly everything on there with, for the MERS.
Okay, I understand that, but the actual MERS report, ma'am,
let me finish. I listened to you, so just let me finish with my thought. Okay, so the only other thing is that I did mention that I did not have time to complete all, and I had already talked to John about not having that done tonight.
Okay, well then you're going to table that particular.
Right.
Perfect.
He's already known. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to move over to, well, actually, I'll have to go ahead then, and we have a motion here for C. We would just go to table that one, correct? So I will just have C. Yeah, C will be officially postponed until next month. That's C1. D1 is our secretary, Carol.
Good evening, everyone. Let's see, Secretary's report. As you can see, I've been busy printing lots of things and organizing, which is my purview. This is going to take a lot more organization before I get us where I'd like to be, just to respond to some other concerns that were raised tonight, but I am aware, and thank you for that. I'm learning, and I'm happy to see some faces of people in the audience that are actually very instrumental in teaching us some best practices. So, and we'll be hearing from additional people tonight, from our Tux team, from Nation Builder, and from Linda Gravani, so that we can continue to improve our game. It's all good. Part of my purview as secretary, at least as I see it, is communications, and as you know, I send out the e-blasts, and I have been in communication with both the city attorney and with Melvin about that, and the reminders that I send, I'm sending now from my nextdoor.com email, because it's more of an informal reminder, not the same as the early notification system, but I do still send it out. I also wanted to let you know, if you don't already know, that I attend a great number of city meetings and committee meetings throughout. I am working with some people at City Hall. I'm trying to stay abreast of things that are happening down there with regard to certain city council files, and I would like to get more involved in bringing that news to the stakeholders so that you can be made aware of things that are being debated and discussed at City Hall and about to be voted upon. Another best practice that I learned from Lake Balboa, they were on top of their game, and they sent a lovely letter to City Hall recommending what they would like our council members to do in regard to City Council File 13-1374, which is the GMO moratorium. And that's something I'd like to talk about, but it's not agendized. So those who are interested in that sort of thing, I would encourage you to contact me directly, and we'll get you all the information you could possibly ever want on the topic. Next up is, we are, in addition to my duties as secretary, I work with the tech support committee with Armando and Carlos, and we're working on the website. We know that there are several things that need to be updated, and so we're aware of it. I have a wish list of things. So we are a work in progress, and I'm sure that will only get better. Next is, I don't know if you're all aware of it. Again, I will make this available in electronic format, but there is a neighborhood council questionnaire on sidewalk repair priorities and funding options. There is a link that can be provided. I can do so via the e-blast, but I have also created a form that those of you that don't have access to computers, we can simply have you fill out a hard copy form, and I'll enter that for you. Finally, I wanted to announce we don't have an education czar on this particular board, but I've been dealing with the local schools, and this is Walk to School Month, Walk or Ride to School. We have an epidemic of childhood obesity, and the Department of Transportation is also talking about the terrible traffic around all our schools. So it seemed to me that the logical solution would be, let's get more of our kids walking to school, maybe with mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, and they can get their exercise and alleviate some of that traffic around schools. That's enough for now, but if you have any questions about this or any other thing that's going on around town, get with me and I will do my level best to get you the answers that you need. Even if I don't have them, I'll find somebody who does. Thank you. I'd like to move that we approve the minutes from the September 18th meeting.
I'll second that. Open for comments. Go ahead, Gary.
On September meeting on the approval of the minute, there's item 4C2, calling for a correction to the minutes of September.